everybody, it's Shailene with my training partners Makida and Da Vinci, and today we're going to tell you a little bit about what flooding is. Now, for anybody who's just getting a puppy, who's never had a puppy before, or for some people who've even had dogs in their life in their past, they don't know what flooding is, but they do it anyway. So to describe what flooding is we force our dogs into a situation that we seem to see it as being fine and safe, and we know what's going on, but to them it's overwhelming and scary. And the problem with flooding a dog is what it can cause is long-term fear, anxiety, and reactivity in some cases. For example, here's an example of flooding. You take your dog to the dog park and all 10 dogs that were in the dog park rush your dog. And you're thinking, oh, this is great, this is socialization. But for your dog, it is very scary to have that many dogs coming up at you. Think about it if you were in that dog's shoes. If you had 10 people coming up and touching your head and poking you and even giving you a hug or a kiss, you wouldn't like that, and then you wouldn't want to be around those people anymore. And that's kind of the same idea as what happens with dogs. We tend to put them into situations whether we mean to or not. Like going to the vet. That can be very overwhelming for your dog. There's new smells, there's different noises, and usually they get poked by, for vaccinations. We do this because we are told, and we grow up being told, that if we just push our dog into these situations over and over and over again, they're going to get used to it, just like for humans. We tend to put humans into situations that we know that eventually they're just going to get used to it. But the difference between humans and dogs is we can actually explain it to another human. You try explaining it to an animal who doesn't fully understand English. They understand our body language, they understand our facial expressions, and they understand our tone. So in the next little bit, I'm going to show you some examples of Da Vinci and his fear in grooming, because I was told that. I was told that he would get used to grooming, if I did it once a week, every week. And that's not the case. I have spent 2 years grooming him weekly. And until I became a dog trainer, I didn't realize I was doing anything wrong until I started seeing him shake. And you know what that did? That broke my heart. So I went and I took a fear-free training certificate, which helped me understand different ways to help him. And now I'm here to help you guys. So in the next clips, I will show you his fears and ways to deal with it.
So in this, you can see that Da Vinci will come to me, he'll jump on the toilet, but you can tell he's very nervous of actually getting close to the tub. And this is your prime example for flooding, is you see he doesn't want to do it, but he knows he has to do it. So when it comes down to situations like this where your dog is nervous, it is better to start working with a positive while pairing it to a negative, and you'll see that very shortly.
Come on, come on, come on.
You see how I got him in the tub? I'm rewarding him for being in the tub. Now I'm pairing a very scary negative, which is the water running, with a positive, which is a high value reward. In this case, it is a little squeezy baby food packet that I've made for him. But trying to get him in the tub while that water is running is next to impossible.
But I have to get...
So this is what I should have done before I ever gave him a bath, was practice getting him close to the tub and pairing it with rewards and positivity to get him used to going actually into the tub, instead of what I originally did, which was pick him up and put him in the tub and then give him his bath. That's how most owners usually do give their dogs a bath.
I just pause it. Yeah, unpause it now. I'm trying to catch him.
You can see here again that I am pairing a negative with a positive, the negative being the nail grinder and touching his feet.
Good.
He's not fully comfortable with it yet, but he is getting better at it. The reason I am doing this is because this is where I want to prevent future frustration situations for him. By pairing it with a positive like a high value reward or a treat, he feels like can be more comfortable around it. By getting him to check it and saying check, these are small short cue words that we use to make him more comfortable with the device. As you can see, the device is now on and he's backing away, but I'm still letting him kind of check it out while it's on.
Check.
Now I've gotten a friend of mine to give me a hand while we play on-off. This is where I turn the device on, we pair it with a very high positive, and then I shut it off and he gets no more reward. This lets him kind of understand that if he is calm and collective while a machine is on or while there's a scary noise, that he will still be rewarded for dealing with that.
Going on. So as you can see from the video examples, that was my personal experience of having to deal with flooding. But as you can see, there are ways to prevent it or retrain it. Now, if you're having struggles, I do suggest that you reach out to either your local fear-free positive reinforcement trainer or just a positive reinforcement trainer, as most of them do know what cooperative care means. And that's what we are doing, is we're doing cooperative care to prevent flooding. The younger your puppy is, the better it is to start. As I said in the video, there are many situations like socialization. You don't want 100 kids touching your puppy within the first week of getting them, because you will have a puppy that is terrified of children and terrified of people touching it. Or even just taking your dog to the vet. Going to the vet is scary for them, and that if it's not trained from like a young enough age and you just force them into it, you will always have problems at the vet. And that is what this video was about today, was to try and make sure that you get to learn a little bit about what flooding is and kind of how to prevent it. Look on the website for your local trainer or find a positive reinforcement trainer, and they will be more than happy to help you with this. All right, folks, have a great day. Bye-bye now.